But Colin, it was a highly entertaining hockey game, and your players got challenged, and you've got a younger, smaller team. Can you maybe just comment on the degree of physicality? This is how they play in the American League as well.
It's something we talked about after the first period, understanding what to expect when a team, has a tough night the night before, right? Not to mention you're in the Battle of Alberta that is, not the NHL players, but, they're players that have played in this tournament that playing in the real Battle of Alberta. So I think our guys responded. I think they were calm. And they were disciplined as far as penalties, right? But and Carter and Stonehouse and Bourgault, and like you said, they're not as heavy as those players, but there was no back down. They were taking pucks to the net. They were getting their nose dirty, and that's what you want to see.
Petrov went through some challenging times last season, saw his goal totals drop a bit, but he looked pretty comfortable. And it's interesting, you get a little bit of positive momentum going, and then he just lets go with the bomb. You got to be excited about maybe having an opportunity to work with him.
Yeah, he made some nice plays in the power play. He does some things that are very difficult or maybe not able to coach. Right, he sees some ice, he shoots the puck. He makes some backdoor sneaky passes. What we saw in Matvey tonight was more compete, harder player than what we saw in last two rookie tournaments, and that's why we do these. Right, there's some growth, and like you said, we have some work to do, but that's what the entry level contract's for.
Whether it is the smaller players who are being pushed around a little bit or not, what is the message that you give to your players when that physicality is being met to them?
To try to make plays from within that physicality, not just try to chip pucks or throw pucks away, because when teams are being physical, they can be at times be out of position a little bit. And I think we saw some moments of that we did make some plays and we did catch them. And then at the same time, their physicality allowed them to gain some momentum and allowed them to have some opportunity as our net. But having said that, I think our D did a really good job staying tight and protecting those quadrants. And I thought I saw some cross checks and some understicks and some heavy net play, and I thought that's something that we can celebrate.
Despite how physical the game was, your team still forced the game into overtime. What does that exemplify about this group of individuals?
I think that they have no, they're not backing down. There was no quit. We came off a really deciding victory the night before. When those things happen, your mind tells you that you've made it. Your mindset tells you feel pretty good about yourself, and you see it time and time again that you somewhat take your foot off the gas. But that felt like a real game out there. That felt like a game that we played in the Saddle Dome when some of you guys were there. It felt like a Condors Wranglers game, a heavy physical game, and it was a tight game. Our power play was excellent. Our PK was very good as well. I think we could have maybe generated a little bit more 5-on-5. But at the same time, like you said, you got it into overtime, and they got one more than we did.
When there's that much animosity and intensity happening during the game, what's the role of the coach and the coaching staff to maybe make sure that your players are kind of still aligned with the game plan?
What we try to do is get their attention. We'll talk about the things that we're doing well. And what we were doing well is the power play got us back in the game in the first period, which was excellent. They had momentum. They were out shooting us. We were staying calm. We were answering the bell with their physicality, with keeping our sticks down and trying to make plays and not retaliating. We tilted the ice in the second period. Right, we outshot them. We felt like we had momentum, right, and then the third period became a little bit of a battle, and we talked about that. To get the W in this, we needed a 5-on-5 goal, and we needed to get our noses nicked up, and we needed to get into those dirty areas, because that was the type of game it was. In the end, we didn't get it done, but it wasn't from a lack of Xavier Bourgault driving the far post, which I'm not quite sure he would have had the courage or the confidence to do that last year. So I think those are really good steps. I think he also blocked a shot on the penalty kill. I think all those small victories with the coaching staff staying calm and trying to maintain their focus and keeping the picture small. And I thought we did a really good job tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't get the 2 points, so to speak. But we definitely got one. We're happy with that.
What strengths did you see from Carter Savoy? It looked like he was kind of creating some chances on his own tonight too.
The one thing about Carter is that he can take a hit to make a play, and you saw that tonight. But what I think we saw from an improvement was he skated a lot better. He had some separation speed from maybe a bigger body when they get a piece of him or they pin him on the wall, because they got some height and some lbs behind it. It's going to be a little bit of a uphill battle for him. But what he was able to see tonight is some separation speed. I think early in the game he was really good. I think they did a good job wearing him down a little bit, but he still made some plays. There was a chance on the power play there that Murphy made a hell of a save. That one-timer, he elevated the puck. I mean, that's what you need to do in a player in his caliber. And we end up scoring later in the sequence, a hell of a shot by Matvey. But he did a lot of good things, and I think those are moments that we didn't see last year, so I think that's a positive.
What is it that you want your players to take away from tonight's game and carry into Monday?
I think just realize how hard it is to play in the second best league in the world, right? Because really the American Hockey League is the next step for them, and to understand how little space there is and how important the small details, and we've picked a few of them to focus on, obviously not as many as you'd like on a full season, but how important it is, and when you focus on those small details, what it leads to. And what it leads to is some offensive opportunities or frustrating teams defensively, which will lead into a power play. I think they've had a real tough 4 days here as far as travel and medicals, testing, practices, back-to-back games, understanding how that feel, but then learning their health and wellness tomorrow to recharge and recover and get ready for Monday.